Tonight on the Northwestern News Report,
We want more pay and we want more say. We want that permanent seat at the bargaining table.
calling for change. Northwestern University graduate workers are marching to advocate for changes in the workplace. What steps they're taking to be a legally recognized union.
Plus, new details on a sign posted outside of Deering Library. Why some see it as a rallying cry and others as hate speech.
If you were going to build a building that was going to kill birds, you would design it just like this.
And trouble in the skies. Why some NU buildings are making it harder for birds to spread their wings. Those stories and more tonight on the Northwestern News Report.
It's your news
Right now. Good evening and welcome to the Northwestern News Report. I'm Andrew Rowan.
And I'm Jenny Hull. Let's get right into tonight's stories. A sign was posted on the gates of Deering Meadow Monday. It was in response to Weinberg Jr. Lily Cohen's opinion in the Daily Northwestern titled, quote, "I am more proud of my Jewish identity than anyone can ever hate me for it." The sign had been removed by the time our reporters walked by around 10 a.m. Monday. It read, quote, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." Behind the writing were over 40 copies of Cohen's op-ed. It is still unclear who made or took down the sign, but Cohen's op-ed mentions her article was spurred by previous cases of the slogan being painted across campus, including The Rock. Cohen, who declined to comment, says in her op-ed that she takes offense, feels hurt, and gets angry, and, quote, "The NU administration should consider From the River to the Sea as a hateful slogan and treat it as such." Members of NU's Jewish community, including Hillel Executive Director Michael Simon, have been condemning the sign, calling it bullying and saying the slogan used by the terrorist organization Hamas is anti-Semitic.
Walking past that on your way to class and seeing that direct attack on a Jewish student who was sharing her pride of our religion is not something that a lot of us appreciated.
NU Students for Justice in Palestine released a statement Monday night saying, quote, "We will continue voicing the phrase with clarity until Palestinians are free from oppression from the river to the sea." A student in contact with the creators of the sign tells NNN, quote, "The sign was done by pro-Palestinian students who support SJP, but this action was not organized by SJP." University spokesperson John Yates did not respond to NNN's request for comment.
Northwestern's Office of Equity is getting a new name and a new leader. The office will now be called the Office of Civil Rights and Title IX Compliance. The university says the change will better reflect the office's responsibilities. A new search committee will also be looking for an associate vice president to lead that office.
Northwestern University graduate workers marched last week to advocate for workers' rights. NNN's Ellie Skelly is live from The Rock to tell us more. Ellie?
Hi, Jenny. I'm live at The Rock, where marchers stopped before continuing on to the office of Provost Kathleen Haggerty to deliver their letter requesting voluntary recognition of their union. Here's what the marchers had to say.
Starting at the Technological Institute and marching across campus, Northwestern University graduate workers, or NUGW, delivering a letter to Northwestern demanding change.
Now we're at the Rebecca Crown Center, which is the final destination for NUGW's march.
There's just been truly no shortage of moments to make me feel even more optimistic and confident in this campaign.
With over 2,000 signatures on their petition to unionize, NUGW says they've reached a supermajority of graduate worker support.
People feel really empowered to see other graduate students or workers show up.
The signatures demonstrate those who support NUGW and their partnership with the UE Independent Labor Union to be their voice at the bargaining table.
I think that the power of this union is unmatched.
For NUGW, a recognized union would put them one step closer to getting their demands met. Those demands include competitive pay and comprehensive health care.
Everything that we're given right now is if we just ask really nicely or beg.
And 6 weeks after launching their More Pay, More Say campaign, on Thursday, marchers delivered a letter to the office of University Provost Kathleen Haggerty, asking their union to be recognized by Monday at 5 p.m. In a letter sent to the organizing committee and obtained by NNN, Haggerty says, quote, "We will not agree to recognize the union as the students' exclusive agent, before they have the opportunity to vote.
Shouting to the rooftops what it is that we want. We want more pay and we want more say. We want that permanent seat at the bargaining table.
NUGW will now take steps to file with the National Labor Relations Board, which will conduct the official vote for unionization.
I'm optimistic that we will win our campaign, whether that happens with Northwestern administration cooperating with us or not.
Now, NUGW will be filing with the National Labor Relations Board, requesting a formal vote to see if they have the majority to continue on and be recognized as a union. The next steps would be bargaining with the university for workers' rights.
The city of Evanston is making strides on an initiative years in the making, recognizing the history of its African American community. NNN's Julia Richardson tells us more.
When you're walking around Evanston, take a look down at the sidewalk. You just might see one of these markers, and if you do, you found an African American heritage site.
One of the oldest churches in Evanston, the first black resident, the first black alderman, the first black mayor, and an interesting business family venture.
8 of these sites are spread around the city, including some people's homes.
It's nice to know that you're a part of history, that you are, being a part of Evanston, not just as a citizen, but also as a historical.
But getting the markers into the ground took time.
This was 25 years in the works.
The original idea came about in the 90s, with a group wanting to recognize the historic African American community. But the initiative was put on hold.
Looking at ways of getting that done and implemented proved to be difficult.
But then, in 2020,
I got inspired when I was walking down the sidewalk, and some of these older sidewalks have these bronze placards embedded in the sidewalk. And I said, that would be a cool idea.
To bring his vision to life, Robinson turned to community members, including local artist Ben Blunt.
Anytime we get a chance to do something artistic that has kind of a permanent home in Evanston is pretty exciting.
The markers serving as a way to avoid memorializing only one area of the city.
And what we want to showcase is that in early history, the African American representation was all over Evanston.
And a way to get Evanstonians engaged.
Something that could have a lasting impact was pretty special.
And Julia joins us now. So Julia, in the piece, there are 8 current sites in Evanston. Are there plans for any more?
Yeah, so Robinson told me that there were 50 markers pre-made. He hopes to have about 4 sites dedicated per year. And although Shorefront nominated the first 8 sites, they now want to leave it to the community to nominate their own.
Thanks so much, Julia. If you want to learn more about the heritage sites or to nominate a location that you think should be a site, visit evanstonheritagesites.org. Jenny?
Thanks, Andrew. The cold weather didn't stop Northwestern students from enjoying an Evanston bus tour last weekend. NNN's Simone Garber joins the ride.
Northwestern students climbing aboard a school bus Saturday morning to hear local historian Dino Robinson speak about Evanston's black community.
I started, researching back in 1995, just out of self-interest. Then I got together with groups that were doing local history, and we grew into Shorefront.
Shorefront, located just north of the Evanston Civic Center, commemorates black history on Chicago's suburban North Shore. According to Robinson, Chicago black history
tends to center around the south side of Chicago, and that's the only place that there was a community. And what we're trying to do is, and what we have done successfully, is put the North Shore on the map when it comes to early black history.
During the tour, Robinson encouraged students to explore all of Evanston.
Get to know your neighborhood, get to know where you're going around.
Shepherd Hall faculty and residents Dr. Ava Thompson Greenwell helped organize this event as part of her Saturday brunch series.
You're here for 4 years as a student. What can you do to give back? It's important, as I was saying, to do well in your classes, but it's also to do good, right, in the community in which you live.
Learning beyond the classroom is something Dr. Greenwell hopes all students will practice to make an impact in their communities.
The foundation of making change is to understand the necessity for change. And until you understand that, whatever change you do won't be done from the heart.
Simone Garber, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Simone. Dr. Greenwell hosts many South area events. Her upcoming one, a discussion on mindfulness techniques at Shepherd Hall this Thursday. Coming up, it's showtime. Grab your popcorn and soda. Evanston's AMC 12 is officially open for business.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
fight through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, spread for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
At Northwestern University, we are pioneering innovation and achieving excellence across every imaginable discipline. At Northwestern University, the possibilities are endless.
Welcome back. Some visit Northwestern just to experience the campus architecture, including the many glass buildings. But that's not flying over the heads of local bird activists. NNN's Liz Castello checked in with Evanston bird watchers.
You hear them and see them. Birds migrate to Northwestern because of the school's bright lights and location on Lake Michigan, according to environmental sciences student Vlad Navirkovitz.
Northwestern is on a very important flyway.
But the glass buildings, like Francis Searle, pose a problem.
If you were going to build a building that was going to kill birds, you would design it just like this.
Glass reflections on buildings confuse birds. An estimated 1 billion birds die each year in North America due to collisions.
Trying to save birds from dying in very gruesome ways by hitting windows is a noble cause.
Since Northwestern announced its commitment to being a bird-safe university in 2018, the university added patterns to the glass on Francis Searle and parts of the Kellogg Global Hub. Still, roughly 700 bird collisions happen each year at Northwestern's campus, mostly due to Mudd Library, as well as the Henry Crown Sports Pavilion. Navirkovitz collaborates with the Evanston North Shore Bird Club and the ASG Sustainability Committee to promote bird safety on campus, establishing a petition earlier this school year to make Mudd Library bird safe.
We have to get lots of people to sign it.
The changes to Mudd could roughly cost between $50,000 and $100,000, and university officials aren't flocking toward the idea. Northwestern's facilities department did not respond to requests for comment.
Unfortunately, Northwestern doesn't seem to prioritize the opinions of people outside of the community.
The petition currently has over 500 signatures and support from numerous bird advocacy groups. Something's in the air for local bird advocates.
Thanks, Liz. If you see an injured bird on campus, call the Chicago Bird Collision Monitors at 773-988-1867.
It's no secret that organic chemistry is difficult. NNN's Alicia Tang spoke with current students to see how they feel about the notoriously hard class.
Organic chemistry is a core class in many STEM sequences, but many students say they've had to drop it because of its difficulty. And for those that remain?
Not only do I have to master the content that is presented in lectures, I would have to go like countless examples.
Some students say the class takes a toll on their mental health.
This weekend I finally went out, and a fellow Orgo person was like, wow, you went out? Couldn't be so brave.
At office hours, students can often be seen lined up out the door.
I think the TAs are super helpful, but I would say really it's hard to get your one-on-one time.
Ward says the difficulty stops her from enjoying the subject.
I just am not taught in a way where I can be interested in it.
So is there any benefit to this structure? Assistant Professor Dr. Mark Aparici says yes.
You teach students the rules and just reinforce the rules and restate them over and over again and how they apply to different scenarios and different molecules. Students it's been my experience, find it a much more rewarding class.
According to Aparici, the class is worth a chance.
Don't be scared of organic chemistry.
A chemistry class that doesn't always come organically. Alicia Tang, Northwestern News Network.
Thanks, Alicia. And best of luck to those Orgo students who are about to brave those exams.
The smell of fresh popped popcorn is once again buttering up the air in downtown Evanston. Last Wednesday, a new AMC opened, replacing the former Century 12 Evanston, which closed during the pandemic. AMC Evanston 12 features a dozen screens and an expansive lobby. And new students among the first to visit the new theater to see Black Panther: Wakanda Forever as part of South Area residential programming. But the work is still not done. A Sky Zone trampoline park is being built in the complex as well.
Northwestern Hillel welcomed Beanie Feldstein as its fall speaker. The actress from Funny Girl, Booksmart, and Lady Bird talked about her identity as a Jewish queer woman. She also shared advice for Wildcats. Feldstein emphasized the importance of building community in the workplace. She shared examples of friendships that helped her shape her own career. Roughly 300 people attended the event.
Following a $5 million donation to the Medill School, Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin paid a visit to his alma mater. R.R. Martin engaged with students through a Q&A with Medill Dean Charles Whitaker, along with lunches throughout the end of last week. The donation will go to a summer writing workshop and an endowed professorship. During the Q&A, R.R. Martin talked about his contribution, creative process, and experiences as a Northwestern student. He also said his next book is still in the works.
Playing the keys and strings, NU pianists and violinists performed for a charity concert at Beanon on Sunday. Hosted by NU Ukraine, the concert showcased Ukrainian performers and pieces from Ukrainian composers to show solidarity. The event began with a moment of silence to honor the lives lost and impacted by the war. According to NU Ukraine's Instagram, the concert raised over $500 for Nova Ukraine, a humanitarian aid organization. And coming up, Kicking It in Qatar, we'll introduce you to a recent graduate who's making his goal of covering professional sports a reality.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
Okay.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Well, welcome back. If you were out on campus today, you may have seen some snowfall. Our camera spotted some very light snowflakes today. Overnight tonight, we'll see some wintry mix, and tomorrow we'll have a better chance of some solid snow showers. Most of that will be over by tomorrow night. It's a little uncertain about what we're going to get for snow totals. We're looking at possibly around 3 inches at least. So if we bring out our old friend in the weather department, Archie at the Arch, you can tell graphic design is our passion. What should they wear tomorrow? Well, snow gear. Find it, folks. Get it out from the tubs under your bed. Put on the hat and gloves. It's not going to be pleasant. You can see Archie has it all. But like every other Northwestern student, they've got a disproportionately sized coffee cup to help them get through the day. That's the latest from the NNN Weather Center. I'll send it back to you, Jenny. It looks like we need to get some coffee for Archie. There we go. There it is.
Well, thanks so much, Andrew. Yeah, stay warm out there, everyone. Artificial intelligence or AI systems are creating ways to help us live more efficiently. However, these innovations have both pros and cons. NNN's Maria Heim explores how Northwestern interprets both sides of AI.
Avery Kerr fell in love with technology when she was a kid.
From early on, I've been thinking about kind of the role of technology in our day-to-day.
Through conversations with her dad about tech innovations, he inspired her to think about the role of technology and what innovation means.
It seems so second nature to him that like, oh, we can do so many things with technology, so why don't we?
After getting to campus, Avery joined RAISO, a group that discusses technologies and explores the implications of artificial intelligence, or AI. But what exactly is AI?
Anything that's able to make like judgment calls on its own.
Computers making decisions that they weren't explicitly told to do.
Oftentimes, you aren't aware you're using an AI technology.
Being recommended things like new movies to watch, clothes, or even like new people to follow is like purely a good thing.
The Night Lab is a space on campus that welcomes conversation around these technologies changing different landscapes, including journalism.
I have to work a lot of the time on articles, which I don't feel very passionate about. Thinking about AI sort of puts a voice to that.
Algorithms can have bias, which presents both pros and cons.
If you use it as a stimulus, then I think it's great. If you use it believing that it replaces humans, to me that's not entirely accurate.
Transforming technologies from college campuses to global networks.
There'll be enough churn, enough new ideas, enough like technology that we can't even imagine that springs up.
Thanks, Maria. To learn more about Northwestern's AI community, check out RAISO's Instagram at RAISOgram.
Soccer fans, get excited because the World Cup is just 5 days away. The World Cup this year is being held in Qatar, where Northwestern has a campus. This morning, professors from NUGW and Medill held a panel discussing issues surrounding this year's tournament. NNN's Logan Schijano is here to tell us about one Northwestern student who is kicking his way right into the center of the action. Take a look.
Northwestern's had it all this weekend.
Matthew Plotchik is used to broadcasting Northwestern sports games in Evanston, but this fall, the Medill sophomore is part of Fox Sports' production team at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar.
Whatever they need help with, essentially, I'm on call for them from when I step into the building to when I step out.
Although he's over 7,000 miles away from family and friends and withdrew from classes midway through the quarter, Plotchik says he has no regrets.
I'm getting to do what I love, so I couldn't really ask for any more.
While games kick off in less than 10 days, the media has been busy juggling a whole host of issues surrounding the 2022 World Cup.
Global social media responses to Qatar's host nation status, the issue of sports and gender, the economics of sports broadcasting and media piracy in the Middle East.
Addressing these questions was the focus of a discussion held on NU's Evanston campus Tuesday morning, educating attendees on journalists' limited rights in Qatar.
Virtually anything you can imagine, from libel to privacy to copyright, is a criminal offense.
Ever since Qatar received the controversial bid to host the tournament back in 2010, political and humanitarian issues, from poor working conditions to treatment of LGBTQ fans, have been well documented by Western media. FIFA leaders recently sent a letter to nations urging them to, quote, please focus on football. But NU professor Claudia Kosman says,
I mean, football and politics have always been related.
Even while living out his dream, it's something Plotchik can't ignore.
The Qatari government wants to try and push it to the side and get people to focus on soccer. And I don't think it is right in any stretch of the imagination to try and do that.
Though Plotchik will be extremely busy working, he says it's his goal to get to at least one game featuring the United States and hopefully see one of his idols, Lionel Messi, play in his final World Cup.
Logan, thank you. Next up, Busting a Move, how Northwestern dance organizations came together for 2 epic nights of dancing to the beat.
At Northwestern, we're Wildcats in every way.
Northwestern break right through that. With our colors flying, we will cheer you all to go. Go you Northwestern, fight for victory, sweet victory, for the fame of our fair name, and go Northwestern, win that game. Go Cats!
We hope you didn't dance away from our show. That's because Northwestern dance and performance groups Refresh, Fusion, and Boom Shaka ignited the stage in Kahn Auditorium this past weekend. NNN's Alexia Cadota-Browner takes us to the stage.
Dancing, drumming, and giving it their all, performers returned to the stage for the annual Refusion Shaka, or RFS show, this past weekend. It combined performances from Refresh Dance Crew, a hip-hop team that auditions by piece, the hip-hop group Fusion Dance Company, and Boom Shaka, a joint dance and drumming group.
It's an opportunity for other students and people's friends to see them dance, often for the first time since they've met.
Students choreograph the dances, and the teams practice all fall quarter.
We started prepping for a Fusion Shaka before the school year even started.
A key part of dance? Facial expressions. And while they performed last year, this Refusion Shaka was their first without masks since the pandemic began.
Dancing, so much of it is the facial expressions and the stage presence. I found it really hard last year to just do everything with the eyes.
But it's not just the dancers themselves that make the show. Effects like the stage lighting bring out the best in the performers.
Very technical. We're working down to the 1/30th of a second to get those flashes on beat and stuff like that.
The show ran 3 times, with their final Saturday 10 p.m. show selling out.
Our last show of the weekend is always the best one because all the alumni come and the alumni know how important the audience is, so they stand up and they scream.
Seeing everyone having a good time and being so excited for all these dancers definitely makes everything so worth it.
Alexia Cadota-Browner, Northwestern News Network.
If you missed this show, you can follow the groups on Instagram for updates about future performances. There's their Instagram right there. Well, Jenny, this is your last show before you graduate a little bit early.
Yeah.
What has kept you here? You've been here since the very first weeks of your first year. What's kept you here all these years?
Well, first of all, very bittersweet night for me. I think it's really the people and all the experiences that I've had at NNN that kept me here for 4 years through thick and thin. I'm going to miss everyone so much, and it's been a wonderful 4 years.
Well, we will definitely miss you. That is all the time we have for tonight. I'm Andrew Rowan.
And I'm Jenny Huh, signing off for the last show of the quarter. Be sure to stay tuned for PolitiCat coming up next. Good night.